to life our property, that we are, making the best of every situation, making the best of everything. And before you came, Candy, I was sharing a quote with the persons, and the quote that I shared, it said, um, a good intention with a bad approach often leads to a poor result. And it's Thomas Edison. A good intention with a bad approach often leads to a poor result. I also was saying congratulations to the Village Superstars who succeeded in winning the championship, the football
Wow.
championships.
If you didn't hear, you heard.
Yeah.
That fireworks woke me up out of my sleep. I thought I was going to have another asthma attack. Oh my God. The first thing I heard was boom. I was like, what the hell is going on?
Precisely,
And then it just
precisely.
was followed by more. And then I was like, oh, it's fireworks. Oh, the game is finally over. Because I kept checking all night for the stats.
Yes.
And then I was like, what's going on with this game? And so Patrice must be in her element even now, because I was checking her status. I was checking Delwyn. Like anybody that I knew that was into football, I was checking their status. And I fell asleep waiting for the results. But yeah.
Yeah.
So
And
congratulations,
yeah,
guys.
congratulations. Another thing that circulated in the social media would have been the behavior displayed by Ambassador Leon Natter in front of the Dominoes. And that had really brought some sort of attention as it relates to the video that was circulated, depicting what seemed to have been, and many persons describe as a behavior not depicting one of his office. Of course, there were, after that, explanation given as to, by him, he did a whole video, I think, with Model Cop, where he would have explained the situation to others. There was also there is also an apology that was issued, and it was issued, I think, yesterday, and it was issued on SKNIS. I see also circulated by other groups. Trying to now to locate that article.
Yeah, do you want me to read the
Sure,
the apology?
sure.
'Cause I actually have that.
Yes. Could you read the apology that was issued?
All right. So, and it reads, fellow citizens and residents of our beloved Federation, I am Ambassador Leon Natter Nelson. I stand before you today to address an incident that occurred last night at 4th Street. So, was it Friday or Saturday that this occurred?
It was Friday. I saw the videos being circulated over the weekend. I don't know which day it was.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. So it says occurred last night at 4th Street, Bastille. I must clarify that as a police investigation is currently on the way, I am unable to provide full details on why this incident transpired. However, I feel compelled to share with you that the individual involved, an adult, subjected my 8-year-old son to harm. As a father, my protective instincts kicked in, and I reacted in a manner I now deeply regret. While my intentions were rooted in safeguarding my child, I recognize that I should have approached the situation differently. I love my son dearly, and my natural protective parental instincts took over. I wish to sincerely apologize for my emotional reaction and any harsh words that were spoken. Such a response should never have occurred. I'm committed to finding more peaceful and constructive ways to address any future concerns, even those involving my child. It is crucial that we denounce all forms of aggression, whether physical or verbal. Let us prioritize open dialogue, understanding, and peaceful conflict resolution, especially in moments of heightened emotion. As the police investigation unfolds, I ask for your patience and understanding. Additionally, I hope that the individual or individuals responsible for threats against my family and home, as seen in widely circulated videos, will be held accountable for their actions. I trust in the thoroughness of the Royal St. Christopher and Nevis Police Force in this matter. In closing, I extend my heartfelt apologies to the people of St. Kitts and Nevis for my regrettable actions. I cherish my son deeply and will always seek to protect him. Yet I can assure you that I have gleaned a lesson from this experience and strive for a more compassionate and understanding society. We can forge a future with respect, empathy, and peaceful dialogue. Triumph over confrontation. Thank you for your time and your understanding. Sincerely, Ambassador Leon Natter Nelson.
Yeah, and I think what really would have gone hand in hand is the fact that we had one ambassador recalled from the who represented the United, Sinks and Nevis at the United Nations. And then just what seemed to have been, discussions about that, we had a video circulated with another ambassador in what seemed to have been a confrontation in front of Domino's, where explicit language was used, and where, and of course, the apology has been given by the ambassador as it relates to his behavior. And of course, persons would have been giving their own take on the social media as to what occurred, and what would have been a very, as he said, even in his apology, a very emotional response. I know that we have callers who tend to call in and give their views. Opening the phone lines for those persons if they wish to call in and to give their views on the matter as it relates to what occurred, what transpired, and for them to give, their own take. And
like when I saw this whole thing going down, and I'm still of two views, because for me, I don't have children. I can't imagine what would have gone through his head. Seeing somebody that you love, being brought to harm, or hearing, maybe I don't think he said he witnessed it. He heard what had happened. So I'm imagining, your child comes home to you, Daddy, Mommy, this is what happened. And so automatically it's like, you forget everything else, like, what? Somebody did what? And then you kind of want to react. All right. So I can see it from that perspective, even though I am not a parent. My only issue, my main issue with it was when I watched the video, I heard him say that he had gone to the police station after the incident occurred. And I know I heard him mention something about 6 hours. So I don't know if it was that he was waiting for 6 hours. And then I'm guessing, like, I get whatever, they took his statement. But to see somebody that you love being put in a position like that, and then, seeing that nothing was done, it would also trigger other emotions, because, aren't you guys going to go investigate, arrest the persons, whatever? And then from what I understand with the video that was circulating is that the guy was saying stuff, kind of like almost like taunting him. So I guess human instinct took over, and he just kind of, like he said, had an emotional reaction. But, you have to bear in mind at the same time that, one, you've already reported the incident to the police. So if you take the action into your own hand, then you have already bypassed that. You're now taking the law into your own hand.
Yeah,
and
and
that's
as
considered almost like vigilante
Yeah.
justice,
I
right?
mean, it's
then the position that you hold, you are a public figure, so you are held to a different standard. And yes, I can acknowledge and understand you're human. This is your son. He's 8, because for me, I was like, oh my God, can you imagine how traumatized that little boy must be? And as a parent, seeing that would trip anybody out.
And
right?
the thing about it, as a father, you want to protect your children. And I think, he would have done the correct thing at first in terms of reporting it to the police. And it makes me wonder if he, in such a high position, felt as though that the police themselves are doing as much as they can. Imagine the ordinary citizen who bring matters to the police. I think that it begs the question whether or not the citizenry feels comfortable that when something is done, that action is taken and appropriate action is taken. You make mention of the position in which it holds, and that is also a very important position. When you're an ambassador, you are basically, as the word says, you're a representative of the government, you're a representative of St. Kitts and Nevis, and that comes with it a different level of standard.
Whether you like it or not, people hold you to a different standard. So
and then
you kind of always have to keep that at the back of your mind. And it's a public figure, because I feel even like celebrities, even persons in in my shoes, like they figure, okay, you're this person, you're not supposed to do this, you're not supposed to say this, you're not supposed to act this way. Forgetting that, yes, we're all humans, but if you are going to put yourself up in this type of position, then you have to be cognizant of it all the time. And like you said, what does it say about how we feel about the police?
Yeah. it really.
You've reported the matter. You reported it the day after, I think, the incident occurred. You kind of have to wait.
Yeah, and there
You
is
have to let the process take
yeah,
over.
and even as a practicing attorney, one that there would be I talk to clients on a daily basis and have to advise them on what the law is, and oftentimes when you are at law school and school, I mean, they teach you that when you look at situations, you try to look at it as objective as possible, weighing everything in the balance and trying not to weigh with emotions. So to look at it from
All the sides.
all the sides. And so it is important to get all the facts, as he has said earlier, that he himself recognized that he erred in terms of judgment and reaction. He says so in his apology. And we understand that he would have been under some sort of frustration,
Yes.
And again, it's a double-edged sword, because your father, and also you wear the position of ambassador and someone who really is seeking even higher public office as a member of parliament. And it seems like all the players are from his constituency. All the persons are within his constituency, and not just once but twice, he put himself forward to be the leader within the constituency. And when making approaches as a leader, one has to ask the question, would this diffuse a situation or ignite a situation? Would this make it better or make it worse? And I mean, yes, he's a father, and it's a very difficult position.
It's ticklish, because I saw a video with the guy threatening him.
Yeah.
And I'm guessing this was the day after. So I'm like...
Well, I think it's the brother of the guy.
Right, the brother.
And
right. And this is not the first video that this brother has put out.
Which is equally wrong.
Right.
And even what they did to his son, wrong,
that
terrible.
That is just insane, because the first
Okay,
thing,
guys,
my first thought was, this child must be traumatized, because it's happening in an area where he supposedly lives. So does he still feel comfortable? So, all of these things are going through my head as I'm watching and I'm listening. But one of the things that I felt was probably ill-advised was that video that he did, recounting the incident. And I'm like, where's his lawyer? Where's his lawyer? Where's his lawyer? So
and
I'm happy
okay,
that
guys,
this
we have to leave
apology
it there.
Yeah, we have a
traffic
traffic talk right now, so we could continue the discussion, but we'll bring in traffic talk, have a little break, and then come back.
We're different. We're 98.9. 98.9. Win FM.
Be careful on the road. Don't make it an episode.
When it comes to the important things in life, your health, your education, your choice of a life partner, and of course your insurance provider, only the best will do. Caribbean Alliance Insurance is the only insurance company in the Eastern Caribbean with an A excellent rating. We have a robust 3-tier reinsurance strategy that protects our policyholders from multiple catastrophes, even if they occur in quick succession. We spread our risks over 18 territories, ensuring minimal impact to individual territories when a disaster strikes. We provide an excellent claims experience. Claim settlement is usually between 24 to 48 hours. Our A excellent rating means that you are more secure with us. Contact us for motor, property, marine, public liability, employer's liability, and other policies. Dalil Walwyn, people you can trust. Local agent for Caribbean Alliance Insurance. Tomorrow secured.
Be careful on the road. Don't make it an episode. Attention all drivers, I'm begging you to slow it down,
Okay, stand by.
slow it down. Too many stunt drivers on the road, man. With the fire day, driver, what's your emergency? It's better late than never, so why all the
And it's time for Traffic Talk, brought to you by Caribbean Alliance Insurance.
Yes, Good morning, officer. Good morning, Sergeant Henry. How are you doing?
I'm fine, thank you.
How is the weather treating you?
Oh, good.
How was your weekend?
It was tiresome, but okay. Thanks
Tell
to
me
God.
something you liked about it.
What I liked about it?
Mm-hmm.
I went to church yesterday, and we had a wonderful time in church.
What church did you go to?
United Pentecostal, Taylor's Range.
What was he preaching about? What was the message about?
Being courageous.
Being courageous.
Oh, nice.
Nice. So what are we discussing this morning?
This morning we'll be talking about driver's courtesy.
Yes.
Does that even exist? I've not been the recipient of it recently.
Tell us about it, officer.
Yes. Driving courtesy. You must drive or ride at all times with due care and attention, with reasonable consideration for other road users, and while exercising courtesy and common sense, we must all share the road. Remember, the road wasn't made for one person. We have to share the road, and with good courtesy, a lot of things can happen. You can avoid accidents, and persons will respect you. You know, sometimes we have, I don't want to say it, but we have some road hogs. They think the road only belongs to them alone, and because they're driving, they figure nobody else should be on the road. So we drive without consideration for other road users. You have a duty to avoid collision and where necessary to give way to other vehicles and pedestrians. The law does not give anyone indisputable right of way. Even when you feel you have right of way, you must still make sure the other driver is going to give way before proceeding, because the other driver may be unaware of your approach. Yes, so you're driving. Yes, I have vehicles on my side. You do not have vehicle on your side, but because you think you have the right of way, and I soon pass these parked vehicles, it might be 5 vehicles parked on my side. I passed 4 already, and there's only 1 more for me to pass. And because you think you have the right of way, you're going to come through. Only 1 more vehicle I have to pass. You come through and you stop there. As I said, you may see other road users behaving aggressively or engaging on unsafe driving practices, as I just said. Don't be pressured by other drivers and try to stay calm and in control of your vehicle at all times. Because once you lose concentration, anything can happen. So just be in control of your vehicle and stay calm. Yes, the person might come and argue and go on with all kind of things, but just stay calm.
Because road rage is really something that exists. But you're describing that, and one road in particular I'm seeing, and is the road by Challengers. You know, that road where it's already narrow, there's a wall on the side, people want to park on one side, and then traffic has to flow on both sides. I absolutely hate driving on that road.
Yeah, that's a road. You as you said, you described there, and also I could think about Old Road as well. I could think about Keyon as well.
Yes,
and
coming up from
the police station, that
before you
area.
reach the police
Yes.
station,
Yes.
after you pass Washington coming
Yes.
up.
Yes.
Yes.
There's so many instances where could be, potential congestion if, they're not properly
So
cleared.
then when you're coming on Challenges, as you said, just vehicle park on the left-hand side while you're going up or going into Bastille. And the person think, okay, I have the right of way, but just let me come through.
Because you know what end up happening when you're trying to come to clear yourself, they're refusing to let you come. Then
And
you
they
end
have
up
a
causing a
congestion.
longer, a longer line of traffic just because you're being unreasonable. I don't know. And it's not going to stop anytime soon. It's not. Even Market Street, like I've been petitioning for the longest while. I mean, it's relatively silent petition, but just make the street one way for the love of everything holy.
So you're talking about Bill Jabbo come down.
How you know exactly right there, just to even come out at the top of that road there, because somebody always damages the mirror. So you kind of can't really see if something is coming. And sometimes it's only until you reach too far out, then you notice something is coming. And then there are cars parked on both sides and traffic is flowing both ways. So every morning, that is my burden to bear.
Then you have
every
the whole of
morning.
Market Street a one way, because remember, Lower Market Street is
It's
one way you
already
can
a
only come up
one-way.
from off the Bay Road.
Right.
Central, you can only come up, and by Jenkins, you can only go down.
Maybe put parking on one side then?
That's sounds better than to make the whole of Market Street
Maybe
one way.
something, but it's crazy every single morning and nobody wants to wait because, we're all in a hurry. So every morning is mats. And like
Yes.
if I don't have somebody like standing there saying, well, yeah, come, it takes me a good
Then you
bit
should
to get
try
out.
your next route.
Ha! Good
Yes.
luck with that. Like my other route, that's worse because that comes out like at the top of Westbourne Gut and nobody waits. And then they put like some benches on the top of that thing there.
Mm-hmm.
And if somebody's parked there, you can't see what's coming up. So, yeah. But thankfully, I've never gotten into an accident. So, hallelujah. But we do have some traffic nightmares in St. Kitts.
Yeah.
And traffic rules were established to minimize the road hazard and to give every driver a fair break. Racing through a stop sign, speeding and driving to the left of the center are all examples of a poor driving attitude. In every situation, the right of way is something that is to be given, not taken. Even if it really belongs to you, Otherwise, you will all be gambling with the lives of passengers and yourself. Because you think because it is your turn, you're going to come through.
Yep.
We have to drive for ourselves and others.
Defensive driving too. Even when they have yield, you've seen people just zoom through the yield sign. I'm like,
They're not looking to see if something is coming.
So Candy, they've done that to you?
all the time.
Oh my gosh.
Right
Well,
there by the university, by the court.
We have the officer here.
I'm going to start taking names and numbers.
Yes. And once you're willing to come to court to give evidence.
Yes.
Send my
Not just
counsel on
giving.
behalf.
How he going to come? He don't know what
He
took
could take my
place.
statement. Ex parte judgment. But honestly, we need to be more courteous.
Yeah.
Right, because sometimes you don't even know what the other person. And I'm always afraid. I'm like, I don't even know what this person's vehicle fitness is like. Like, what are the brakes like? Is the vehicle good enough to stop? Are they, is it working, or are they in a position whereby they can make that kind of judgment? So, yeah, you really have to drive for you and the other person.
Yes.
Ugh.
So, officer, you have any tips as to what persons could do? Further tips?
Signal your intention when making a turn
Yes, that's important.
or changing lane. Don't just cross
Yes.
over or just go and stop.
Yes, and I know that happens. Could happen quite often because sometimes you're thinking while you're there, which lane would take you to your place quicker, and then you look at the vehicles ahead of you and you're saying, "But I want them in the right lane because over there look shorter." So yeah, I think
You
that's
cross
important.
over,
But you
yeah.
have to signal. You ought to signal.
Yes, you make sure other drivers are aware of your plan.
Yes.
The thing is, right, they don't signal, or sometimes they signal, but then it's left on by accident, so they're not even going that way. So I'm
I
so
know.
paranoid that I don't move until they move. So I don't care how much you signal. When you finally turn, that's when I'm going to move.
Because they're driving behind a vehicle and we're going up, and you have another side road, and the person indicator is on, but they're not turning.
So you don't
So
know
I'm
which road they're
driving
going
still,
in.
and they're going straight, but the signal is on. I was like, oh no.
Probably in their heads, I'm thinking his or her head. He's thinking, well, he or she is thinking, well, I give them an early start. Be on the lookout. Be prepared.
But my thing is,
With so
you
much
can hear
side
the
road and you're
can't you
going-
hear the
I know. I know.
don't you hear the indicator when it's
Yes,
on?
but-
You hear it.
But did they eventually make that turn?
No. They went straight, so I was like, okay.
And they still didn't
Okay.
turn off the indicator.
I maybe in that instance they just forgot it on.
Yes, that. Nothing else but that.
Yes.
Or maybe it wasn't working for it to come off on its own.
Maybe.
Yes.
Maybe.
And always give way to emergency vehicles. Always be thoughtful of the ambulance, fire truck, and police patrol on the road. Sometimes the driver of emergency vehicles struggle to get through traffic jam to reach the hospital, scene of accident, scene of crime, or scene of fire in time because car refuse to clear the way. And when you refuse to clear the way, especially if it's an accident and it's a congestion, you can't get through. So the traffic back up on both sides.
There must be a way we can fix that.
How again? I don't know. Coming here Monday after Monday and educating the drivers, some of us just stick in our ways. And it's not the older folks, it's the young ones. Those are the road bullies.
You know what they do? Sometimes they tag along behind the ambulance. So they're blazing through it. I'm like, really?
You know, I've seen
And nobody's in the ambulance for them.
Thank you.
I've seen several times where bus drivers actually use that approach where it is that the ambulance has the siren on, everyone is making way for the ambulance, and they take advantage
To go through with
to
it.
go through as well. And I'm like, wow. Wow.
Yep, I've seen it happen too many times. And, you know, the thing is, I often go, but you're not helping the situation.
They're taking advantage of the
Getting through,
situation.
yes.
Gosh.
Because you're going to clear the traffic for the emergency vehicle to go through.
They're in a hurry to.
Yes.
To go where? I do not know.
Being a courteous driver isn't a completely selfish act. It will make your whole experience on the road a lot more enjoyable. Sure, not everyone you meet whilst being behind the wheel will be as considerate as you, but you can rest happy in the knowledge that you are not part of the problem. A little bit of driving etiquette can go a long way. Once you have etiquette in your driving, it can take you a long way.
Because remember sometimes when you don't want to stop to let somebody in, it comes back right at you, you know, because somebody's not going to stop to let you in either.
Yeah.
Yes,
But
because-
and
yeah.
but on the flip side, and I'm not taking away from the discussion at all. You know, there are some persons. I think sometimes there are road drivers who are a bit afraid of traffic, and so when they're coming by the junction, the vehicle might be all the way up, and they just stay in the junction.
So then they have poor judgment because you must know one, the size of your vehicle, and you can look at the speed and know, well, okay, I
So
can
the-
get over to the other side.
And then sometimes you're behind there and you're like, okay, you have so much time that you could have left. I mean, you're taking courtesy to another level. But
you're causing traffic congestion.
It could
No,
be,
but
it
maybe
could
someone-
be caution too.
Yeah.
sometimes.
Right.
There
because
are
somebody
some-
just
No,
get-
that's what we're
they-
saying.
cautious, yeah.
Overly.
That's what I'm saying. So they're you're supposed to be courteous, but then on the flip side, there are some drivers who are overly cautious.
You think so? No, because if someone is
But
coming,
remember, I said overly cautious, overly courteous.
It's overly courteous. It's overly cautious and poor judgment. Because, like, sometimes you're looking and you're like, but you could have done gone.
yes, but sometimes when you come out and then this person gonna speed up,
because they don't want you to get over to the other side.
right?
Yeah, I mean, there are different circumstances, and then
Yeah,
I think
yeah,
there are
'cause-
some persons who, in terms of the big vehicles. No, there are some persons who are afraid to drive on the road with big vehicles. I've seen persons
Yes,
who
you
literally
know,
stop
it's
and
true.
pull over.
When I first started doing driving classes, every time I saw a big truck come in, I would put, my instructor was like, Candy, you cannot do this. What are you going to do when you get on the road?
So there are some persons on the road who are really fearful of big trucks and everything like that. They really are persons.
But, I can't even blame some of them because these big trucks drive like the little matchbox cars.
Yeah, some of
Like,
them.
sir,
some
you
of them
are
really
driving
do.
a big heavy-duty vehicle. Slow down. Take it
They
easy.
want to make the smaller persons be aware of them,
Yeah,
intimidation.
yeah,
and that's how
Definitely.
I see it. They're gonna come to and they're gonna rev up and what's that for?
Yeah, yeah.
Just
Watch
go
out
ahead.
for the big truck. Anyway, we have a phone call.
Oh, we have a phone call.
Caller, go right ahead.
Good morning, everybody there. This is Radical Police Without Pet Culture.
All right, then. Good morning,
Good
Mr.
morning.
Radical.
How are you? It's been a while, Culture,
Yes.
since we've heard your voice.
I plan to take the longest vacation in the world from radio.
Oh gosh.
wow.
But this
I
was
wonder why.
this was
If
too
they have
long.
a talking competition in Olympics,
Yes.
I believe Sinkis would have win the gold medal
Uh-huh.
for talking. Too much of talking going on.
More action.
Definitely, that is what it takes, action.
Mm-hmm.
And my colleague there, Sergeant Henry, you all that you've been saying this morning, and every time you all come on the radio, you all talking things over and over and over. How long must a student stay in school to be taught one subject over and over before he graduates? In the U.S. Virgin Islands, I know for sure, when an emergency vehicle is going on call and any private vehicle right up behind that vehicle following it because they want to be in the traffic and a police happen to see that vehicle, pull over a ticket, and the fine for that ticket is a big one, and they ain't going to do it again. But in Sinkit, we are doing too much talk. We ain't just starting to get car and vehicle by the way. We've been getting vehicle long, all when I had donkey car. So you don't need these loaded advising every week the same thing. Desist from this, stop this. Everybody know they ain't supposed to do it, but they're still doing it because they're not being penalized in the pocket. You all have a good day. That's all I have to say for now. But right now, I plan to just select what I want to talk about, a hush period.
Oh my, but it's still nice to hear from you. So thank you for your contribution.
Okay, thank you, man.
Thank you so much.
I tend to agree with him. If we don't start penalizing people, I feel like they're not gonna learn.
Yeah.
You penalize, they're still gonna do. Yes.
If the fine is exorbitant, I bet
You
you they're
think
gonna
so?
think twice.
Some people
They're
aren't.
gonna do it because they think they can get away with
Yeah,
it.
some people. I'm sure half of the persons who get in accidents and traffic accidents are not even aware of the fines. They just do it. They do it in the thought that it's not gonna nothing is gonna happen to me until something really
Yes.
happens to them.
That's true,
Yeah.
Yeah, you might have a point there, but we have to start somewhere. I kind of on his team with the stiffer penalties. Yesterday I saw a guy on a motorcycle, and he has a passenger with him, and they have this big joke going on because I'm inside my house, and I'm hearing him saying, I'm not holding on, and so I'm looking outside. It's an older gentleman, no helmet, and he not holding on. And if you see them taking the turn, and I'm inside, like, listen, y'all just don't have the accident here. I don't want to witness anything today because this is a good Sunday, and I'm really not in the mood to see it. You are too grown for this. Like, why don't you have on a helmet? Why aren't you holding on? Is the motorcycle even built to carry someone else? Like, what's really going on?
Maybe he lived too long.
Maybe, because you could, he had a full head of gray hair. So, maybe he wanted to test the fate.
Yes.
We have another call.
Yeah.
Traffic Talk, you're on the air.
Hey, morning, folks.
Morning.
Good morning.
Yes, Carl Brown here. And morning to the listeners home and abroad.
Yes.
As the young lady is talking about helmet, that is what I call in about. It's officer, it seems like I have forgotten that law. Because scooters, four-wheelers, motorcycle, and you name it. Very few people now are carrying helmets. The driver and passengers. They seem to forget that that is a law. And the other thing about it, officer, when are you going to sit down and negotiate and take to the Minister of Transportation or Traffic and get them to get into Parliament that to lift up any kind of bicycle, scooter, four-wheeler wheel, that there must be some kind of... Officer could give you all a thing to do, $2,000 if your front wheel is in the ear. And that's the minimum ticket because it could go up to $5,000 and $10,000. We got to get something done because it's every couple of months we are burying these folks of these two-wheeler and four-wheeler bikes. They're not learning the 150 or whatever you just charge in our walk. So officers, all you need to put the minimum $5,000 if you put that front wheel up in the ear. Because if you give them a one-wheel bike to ride an officer, they're not going to ride it. But they get a two-wheel, they get a four-wheel, and they got one or two or three of the wheel in the ear. So, are you pleased to sit down and work out something? I'm pleased to move up them little minimum ticket higher about 150 and them kind of things in our work. Are you not tired of going in the court every afternoon, every night with these little minimum things? Put it up high, $5,000 the minimum. And we're gonna see we get things done and the traffic goes smoother. People gonna have more patience and they're gonna wait because they don't want to go deep down in the pocket. Gone.
Thank you, Carla.
Thank you for your contribution.
See, everybody's saying the same thing because that's probably the only way they can hear. Nobody like to feel it in their pocket. I bet you they stop.
I don't know.
I bet you they stop. Because it's becoming a nuisance indeed. And it's not that you put in your life at risk. You put in other people's life at
Even
risk.
persons
What
on-
happened when you fall into the traffic? What happened when your vehicle flipped and hit me and then hit mine? I was in the roundabout, and you know there's one lane to go that way, one to go that way. Something is coming from the other direction. They have the right to way. They are already committed on the roundabout. The person next to me zoom out the roundabout. And I'm just there like, what's trouble here today now? Because what happens if that car hits him? He going to flip over to my side and hit me. And I'm obeying the traffic laws. You
And
know,
that's not in a
you
sense
put
that
in everybody at
bystanders
risk.
yes.
Yeah, I agree with the last two callers.
Yes,
we
the
have to
fine,
look into the
yes.
fees.
We'll make a suggestion to the minister and he'll go from there.
Awesome.
Yeah, but sometimes we go to court and the magistrate charge them forthwith and the money is coming up. Don't care how much you charge them. It is coming up.
Oh,
Yes.
size ballers we have. Well, say that.
I could
The
imagine
fines are coming
if
up forthwith.
I could imagine the monies government have made so fine tickets for ticketed offenses. Yeah, with these so many persons
But
breaking.
it's not stopping them, so.
As they say, carry up the fines. And they're still going to do it because
Maybe
some
add
of them
some
think they're
jail
going to be able to
time?
get away.
Maybe add some
But maybe
jail time.
there was a discussion by the Attorney General, I think, as it relates. Well, not I think. There was a discussion as it relates to, points, the point
Yes.
system.
Yes.
I think that might be more effective,
You think?
maybe even than the fine, because if it is that you have the point system and you are now cautious because you could pay the fine and you still hold on to your license, but if it is that
You cannot drive.
that is really taken away, that is really
Hello.
No, we have a
Okay,
call.
squeeze it on.
if you can't drive, you
Morning.
can do accidents.
1 minute until 9 o'clock. Go right ahead, caller. Be brief.
I have been saying this for years. There is an avenue where the government can make revenue. And that avenue is called Ignorance Avenue. With them people on the street who break in the law. Summon them, let the government get the revenue. What they refuse to pay in the right way, the government will get it from them in the wrong way. Ignorance Avenue, you must pay the government the revenue. Thank you all very much again. Have a good day.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Same to you.
Thank you.
But you know what I'm thinking? If that's a point system, right? So let's say I have 10 points before I lose my license. You know these young people, right? They're about to max out that. So you take one and they're still driving. They're about to still go back out there and do it.
But
It's
then-
the
When they
same
get
thing
caught,
with
they
the
go to
fines.
prison.
But then I would think that there would be a period of time before you can apply for another.
They're gonna listen. They're gonna exhaust it until they lose all the points, and then they're gonna drive without a license.
Yes, and when they get caught is something else
Right,
because you're driving
right.
without a license, you're not covered by insurance.
And that is
But we
very.
still have to do something
Yeah.
about it, though. It's a serious issue.
That's
Social credits for your driver's license, huh? Stuff like what they do in China.
what they do.
They do that for everything.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
You get points. You get docked points.
Yeah.
For behavior and stuff. Like
Yeah.
that.
Then I'm
Yeah.
not
Bad
surprised.
behavior.
Yeah.
I wonder how that's gonna work here. but it's an interesting
No, for the driver's
concept.
license,
Yeah,
that's
I
Yeah,
know,
yeah.
I know.
Mm-hmm.
because everybody want to drive, nobody want to walk.
Yeah. and those who can't drive legally, I guess,
Still
would
driving.
drive
Still drive.
illegally.
Exactly.
It's crazy. It's crazy out there.
Any last words, officer?
Yes. Courteous driver. Think of other drivers when you park up. If you're parking your car behind another stationary vehicle, ensure you leave enough room for the driver to get out in case they return before you do. We get a lot of calls that person come and they jam persons. You also need to take care not to block off important opening like driveways. Basically, your vehicle shouldn't be anywhere that could make it a nuisance to others or for others. So when you park, make sure you left enough space that the person can maneuver to get out. Do not block opening of person's driveway.
Sounds good. Okay, so it's 9:01.
Thank you so much
Yes,
for that.
thank you so much,
I
officer.
hope you have an easy week.
Yeah, we're gonna take a short break and then we'll get back to you. We're gonna go into some more discussions and then we have a guest at 9:15.
Be careful on the road. Slow it down.
When it comes to the important things in life, your health, your education, your choice of a life partner, and of course your insurance provider, only the best will do. Caribbean Alliance Insurance is the only insurance company in the Eastern Caribbean with an A excellent rating. We have a robust 3-tier reinsurance strategy that protects our policyholders from multiple catastrophes, even if they occur in quick succession. We spread our risks over 18 territories, ensuring minimal impact to individual territories when a disaster strikes. We provide an excellent claims experience. Claim settlement is usually between 24 to 48 hours. Our A excellent rating means that you are more secure with us. Contact us for motor, property, marine, public liability, employer's liability, and other policies. Delisle Walwyn, people you can trust. Local agent for Caribbean Alliance Insurance. Tomorrow secured.
We're different. We're 98.9. 98.9. Win FM.
If you need protection, you need one who you can trust. To secure your investment, you need one who'll do you just. TDC Insurance, you're the one that you can trust. TDC Insurance, you're always safe with us.
TDC Insurance is your go-to insurance company for all your insurance needs. We take pride in offering you the best solutions and ensuring our customers are fully satisfied. TDC Insurance, we take good care of you, guaranteeing you peace of mind.
You're always safe with us.
Maybe it's the way the brilliant gold liquid reflects our sunshine, or how the bright blue of its label mirrors the clear Caribbean skies overhead. Maybe it's the fresh, crisp taste of this beastly cold beer on a scorching hot day. Maybe it's even the way it brings us all together. But one thing is for sure, Carib is very much a part of who we are wherever we're from in the Caribbean. Carib, it's the way we play. Drink responsibly.
Stand by. It's 4 minutes after 9 o'clock, and we are back.
Yes, we are back on Island T, and just before we went into this segment with Traffic Talk, we were talking about the ambassador, the situation, and of course, we gave a little of our own views as we opened the phone lines for callers in case callers want to talk on that topic. If you want to give their own point of view, this is the opportunity.
Turns out we do have a
for
call.
them to. Oh, we have a call. Okay, then.
Caller, go right ahead.
Caller, go ahead.
Good morning.
Hi, good morning.
How are you?
Yes, I'm fine, pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
There's a reason why I think a captain is expected to be the last one off a sinking ship.
Mm-hmm.
And he should go down with it, even though his natural instinct might be to save his own life, if he can. Okay? That's what leadership is. It comes with responsibilities and the discipline and good judgment to restrain yourselves and not let your emotions get the better of you. That's the long and short of it. What this incident shows is exactly why we face so many instances of rage and revenge and bullying. We are either a nation of laws or we are not. Do we really want to go the way of street justice? I mean, we already know what that leads to. I saw a lot of reaction to the incident. Most of it seems to be that, well, if it were me, I would have been on the bench because of what I would have done. Okay? And that is how small conflict becomes big ones. Right? Everybody in that situation, I think, and especially the advisor, had an obligation to de-escalate rather than pour fuel on this. So it could easily have gotten out of hand. All right? And in the final analysis, the apology suggests that, well, on reflection, he thought it was badly handled, and if he had to do it over, he would not have done the same thing. And I think that itself is instructive. That is the bottom line. Okay? Made a mistake. He'll try not to let it happen again. I think that is what we should take away.
Yes.
You know, you de-escalate rather than escalate things, regardless of how emotional you might get.
And you know, Carla, as you indicate that, the quote comes to my mind, heavy is the head that wears a crown. And that is a quote that I often hear, and I'm sure you have heard it too, and many others have heard it. And it basically speaks that any person who has a significant leadership position would understand the meaning of it as well. And it's coined from William Shakespeare as it relates to Henry IV, and is often used to talk about the burdens that leaders face and the responsibility. Because when you have there are persons who say, oh, well, titles come after, but in the same length, when you are approached, they approach you with honorable, they approach you with His Excellency. You are given, in a sense, an elevation from the average person. And so, to whom the elevation is given, also that responsibility is also ushered upon them. So on one hand, you can, and I'm talking about everyone who wears the title. Let me not say that I'm talking about any one individual. This circumstance may fit that, but I'm talking generally speaking. Anyone.
But I wouldn't concentrate too much on the fact that they hold a particular title, and much more is expected of them, right? Because that would almost sound like we're absolving any ordinary person in a similar situation from taking that kind of action.
No, and I'm not.
We want everybody, and that's why I said everybody had an obligation to de-escalate. Right? Everybody has emotions, yes, right? But everybody should try to control the emotions. And this thing that, well, you're a father first and then title and whatever after. I don't think that cuts it, right? You are a person first. There are consequences of doing particular things. You should think them through, regardless of whether you're advisor or layperson. You should think things through before you take action.
You have a point, because what if everybody did that?
Exactly. That is what causes conflict.
Yeah. And Carlo, to your point, I just want to clarify, because I was making a point. I'm not saying that everyone shouldn't be like that, but when you look at the law and you look at balance and you look at standards, for example, the expectation of a doctor in giving certain advice is greater than that. The expectation is greater than that from an ordinary citizen who gives advice on the same thing. So I'm not.
Yeah, I understand that leadership should set an example.
Yeah, so that is the point that I want to make.
Would not have encouraged that type of behavior with ordinary citizens and should not exhibit that behavior themselves.
Yes, that's the point I want to make. But it doesn't go. I also agree with your point as well.
Yeah, it can't absolve you of
All right,
anything.
Yes.
Yeah. If everybody had that reaction, then
And
Every
then
day
one,
we would have an
one
incident.
has to look at the precedent that would be given. It would mean that everyone is entitled to take justice into his or her hands. And
I also feel like he was baited, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because I think in the ill-advised interview, because I really didn't want him to do that interview. Like, I don't know him personally, but I just felt like the interview should not have happened.
I don't think that interview portrayed him in a
He was
positive,
still too
like,
passionate and heated from the whole altercation, I felt.
Yeah, I didn't feel that interview did justice.
We have a call? Hello, good morning.
Go ahead, we have a call.
Folks, Carl Brown here.
Yes.
And good morning to the listeners, Oman Brown. Question, guys. Have we have any release or update? Because I missed one or two news items on the weekend. And our UN ambassador, what is the status now? Because remember, we had seen some posts where she requested to go before the Civil Service Board.
Right.
And then we seen posts where she claimed that she was protesting of non-work until certain things or requirements are met. And then we heard that she is being called home and someone is being trained to deputize so far. What is the status from the government perspective of the last few days on our UN ambassador? What punishment is she going to be taken before the Civil Service Board? Is she going before a discipline committee? What? We are not hearing anything.
No.
The last we hear is that they are deputizing and someone is being trained to take the acting position because, they are not fully to the scale.
Right. Someone has been appointed to the post, or I should say, let me not say appointed. Someone is in the post right now, an interim body is there. I think it's Gislyn Williams.
Yes, so the person has not been appointed officially as the UN ambassador.
Yes, we heard that.
Yes, but that's all we've heard so far.
We're on the same page as you.
Yeah, that's all.
The NATO, our other ambassador, Mr. Nelson NATO, as our caller there was saying, you first is a person, and then you is an adult, and we are in the standing of first, bring the police into it. But in another way, your parents' instinct is going to kick in because regardless of what age of your child or children, right? And not only that too, your natural instinct should have kicked in to know, the seriousness of our high rate of crime at this moment, and everybody see where that was escalating too.
Okay, Cal, I'm gonna have to cut you there. We have a segment coming up next, a paid segment coming up. So.
Give us a call back, but thank you so much for
give
your
us a call back. Please stay tuned. Listen.
Yes. I listen on a daily basis.
Awesome.
Okay, so we have CIBC coming up at 9:15. Let's get that on the road.
Yeah.
So we've got CIBC coming up. It's 9:15. They've got another segment, and it's all about their Get Comfy Mortgage campaign. It's all about home ownership, whether building or buying a home on mortgages. And CIBC is offering a program where you can switch your mortgage from one financial institution to another. So they're going to be continuing the pitch. They started, I think it was last week. It might have been the week before. We've got Eberna White and Company from CIBC. Stand by. Well, it's 9:16, and like I was saying, we have a segment with the CIBC team as they pitch their Get Comfy mortgage campaign. We've got Eberna White again, and you can introduce. Introduce
Good morning,
your
to all
colleague,
listeners, Denver Orleans.
Yes.
Denver Orleans. Okay.
And so we're here with First Caribbean International Bank, and they are having a promotion. But you could say a promotion in the sense that it's about promoting getting comfortable, getting comfy, build or buy a home and save. And there's so much to save. And I want you guys to tell us, those persons who are listening, what is the bank offering?
Good. So we're getting comfy. Since we've announced our intention to remain in the market of St. Kitts, we've done so much in terms of upgrading our services. We've installed smart ABMs. Did you know?
Mm-hmm. I think did I realize that?
Yeah, we're upgrading our ABMs. We have smart ABMs now where customers can actually deposit their cash without an envelope and have immediate access to the cash.
Oh, that's
good. They can pay their bills. We have an M-Deposit feature where customers can scan their checks from the mobile app and deposit that check into their account.
How convenient is that, eh?
We're talking about real digital
digital
enabled experience to match your lifestyles.
Wow. I saw that you changed the ABMs, but I didn't realize. So it's good that you're telling
There's
us.
this guy in the ABM talking to you and saying, "Hello, deposit
Yes,
this,
this is
deposit
true.
that."
And
it's
you
lovely.
know how great that is. I think we have to emphasize how great that is. That means you don't have to stand in lines. You don't have to go to the ATM. You don't have to go to bank lines. All of that is removed.
Yeah, you have real convenience with banking with First Caribbean. And now I'm going to talk about what you can do when it comes to financing. You can start your financial transactions online, and you can go straight through from hello to funding. We have these wonderful features that, it's really here to match your lifestyle, and you don't need to have, unless you want to have a quality conversation with one of our team members like Denver Rollins, who's a sales specialist. Denver has been trained to provide quality financial advice to our clients, and that is what we bring to the market in St. Kitts. When we talk about getting comfy, we talk about what really matters a lot for building your family, and a lot of the times it's your home.
Yes.
Right?
Definitely.
So if you're building or you're gonna buy now, we're gonna talk about up to $1,000 off your loan application fee, which is significant. We're talking about $500 off your home insurance, and up to $250 towards your valuation fee, right? This is significant. Let's say you already have a home. It gets even more exciting. We can switch your mortgage for attractive rates, and you get up to $10,000 to cover those fees. In addition to that, you get a $5,000, you get a rewards credit card, and our cards have rewards in them. So the more you spend, the more points you get that you can convert into dollar value. It's actually a digital card. Ever heard about a digital card? There's a lot
I
to
am
learn.
fascinated by the approach and the digitalization of the banking. Yes.
Absolutely. And I can't I can't say more than to, really express how exciting it is for us to work with getting clients on board and having them experience those features ourselves. It's usually it's exciting days
So let me
in
ask
First Caribbean.
Okay. Let me ask a question concerning the Get Comfy thing. Do the those I guess you could call them bonuses or incentives, do they apply if it's someone who happened to come to you first to get a mortgage as opposed to switching? So let's say I'm building.
Yeah, it's part of the If
Oh,
you're
okay.
building, if you're building or buying, it still applies to you.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Good.
It
That wasn't
still
really
applies.
clear, but yeah,
Yes,
that's
it
nice
is
to know.
clear. Yeah.
Okay.
And we're having a lot of those conversations. We're actually having deeper conversations about financial planning for families.
Did you guys get an uptick in calls and inquiries
We have
after we
been-
did the first?
Yeah,
segment?
we've been having an uptick
Okay.
in calls and queries and meetings, and even customers starting their applications online, and we're getting them fitted into our back system.
That's nice.
Yeah.
I really like the approach. I really like the fact that you are starting the process online, and a lot of things could be done from the comfort of your home or office.
And let me tell you, you can get an account open online as well. You upload your documents. There might be requirements for pre-validation, no
Yes.
problem. But it really adds that value to your experience in that you don't have to wait days and months to get an appointment or to take a lunch hour and a half to be at the bank.
Yes.
Right?
So we have two reps from
Yes.
CIBC. It's on 922.
It's exciting times at
As
First
well.
Caribbean.
Exactly.
And I really wanted to say what our clients are saying. We saw some features out of our Jamaica office, and clients are saying, they find First Caribbean is chill. Until they go and they experience it and they be like, wow, why First Caribbean so chill? Maybe that's quite a really good question, and there's a lot to brag about, but we want you to come in and experience. Contact us today. Our number is 1-866-743-2257, or you can go online and maneuver our website. It will get you to the right person.
And I notice your talking points here point out that people have until October 31st.
That's correct.
You can start your application up to October 31st. Even if the transaction was not concluded, we can go up to March.
March 1st. I saw it.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, which is excellent,
That's
because
really
when you start the conversation about building or buying a home, it doesn't happen
Right away.
immediately.
Yes.
Takes a while.
You might need to consult with, if you're just thinking about it,
Yes.
like you've met with Denver, and Denver really, put things into perspective and convince you that, maybe it is a great time to buy the land at least, or to build a home. You already have the land, and, it makes a lot of sense for you financially. You start the process with going to your architect. Then your architect will need time to create your plan. Then, you might need a topographical survey. Somebody has to go to the land and do that, and then
building board to get your approval, etc.
Then building board to get your approval. I know that has been the experience of most persons, and building board has been really great with the turnaround of the plans. So if you are considering, or if you have not considered yet, it's time to consider and come in.
So let
and
me
talk to
ask you
us.
guys, because I think I asked this already, but I think for the interest of persons who are listening now, the interest rate, because a lot of times we are concerned about the interest rate, because we
Yes.
want to know that we are, getting the best offer possible. So you could tell us about your interest rate as it stands now.
Yeah, I know the question about interest rate is always a ticklish one, and one that, persons, they make the decision based on that. And we know that there are offers in the market that has, what we would, what most people from the get-go would say, oh, this is
Consider better,
attractive, and they're
correct.
ready to run. But we price differently. We provide a competitive interest rate that is in the best interest of our client, and we show them, because the consultation with Denver,
Would
we
show
show
you
the
the
client
difference.
what it is that we offer based on our interest rate that provides a better end state for our clients, instead of, you going on something that is very low and then there's a tiered approach to increasing the rates after. We try to make sure, and we're very ethical in our behavior, We try to make sure that what we do is in the best interest of our clients, and that's number one. We stand behind our brand, which is CIBC First Caribbean. So we do offer very attractive rates. And come in and talk to us. You will learn what that rate is.
Now we have we have a Money Matters program. The last Monday, I mentioned to the host that about the program you guys are doing, and he asked about the interest rate and if it was fixed. And I think the last time, I think you did say it was fixed. Because
generally, our rates are variable rates, and it is tied to what the prime rate is in St. Kitts, which is
9%, yes.
9%, but we price on the prime. The prime rate for St. Kitts has not changed in eons. So generally, customers enjoy a fixed, what you would consider a fixed rate anyway for the life of the mortgage. Okay. And from time to time, we will review the rates to ensure that it remains competitive and attractive for our clients.
But having a fixed rate, it doesn't clearly mean it doesn't mean that the bank can't that the bank can choose to do it to make the interest rate lower if they want, right? Okay.
There's always an opportunity to review your rates. Yeah.
And based on the conversation, it seems as though there would be an approach when you go in there to meet your situation.
And give you the best solution as possible, because we want to make sure that you are in the best financial position doing your business with us. And our approach to relationship banking is that our customers have that person that they can come to who understands their financial position, and they would create a solution to fit their financial situation. So
and being quite accessible, because the customer wants to have a relationship where they're unable to find the loan officer per se.
So tell us quickly about the CIBC minimum loan amount and the minimum loan period, because I'm sure that's something that some listeners might be eager to hear about.
Yeah, the minimum loan amount is $70,000 US.
And that's how much in EC?
I had calculated it sometime. Let's see if we can get that for you quickly.
Should be just under 200,000 in it.
Yes.
Yeah, and you know an average mortgage is way more than that. So most customers will qualify for the
Okay.
And
maximum terms.
The minimum term is 10 years.
That's right.
Okay.
The lower terms lower than that will be considered a consumer loan.
Okay. Now you talked about 95% financing. Explain that in everyday terms for people listening.
Right, so 95% financing refers to 95% of the overall cost. That would mean the minimum 5% injection is required by the customer. That can either be in cash or the value of the land.
Okay. And I guess usually, obviously, that would mean that it would be probably well above the minimum, because if you have the land already.
Right, that is correct. Because the value of the land would be way more than 5%.
Would be way more than 5. Let's say if it was 100,000. Of course, the land is
already covered there already. Yeah.
Okay.
And you also talk about the pre-approved Visa Gold or Visa Platinum card with 5,000 bonus points. And you said those could equate into dollars. How is it done?
Right. So for every $1 that is spent, you get 1 point.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So the 5,000 point means that you get $50 on this card, really, because you would 1% of your rewards is dollar value.
Okay, 1%.
So you get $50 on this that you can go on Amazon, enter your digital card information. You know, you buy a clock for the home, you buy a mat, a doormat, whatever it is that you want, and our rewards program is so amazing that it's not restrictive. You get your dollar value, and you get a digital card that you can use to shop anywhere.
Yes.
Where other rewards program, you can only get a ticket on a certain airline, or you can go certain places. But the reward is broad.
It's limitless.
It's limitless.
And the minimum loan amount, which is the 70,000 US, that goes towards homes. So I'm thinking, in case you have a home and you want to do a quick fix in terms of renovation.
You can switch and remodel.
Yeah.
You can switch and upgrade. You know, it's a good time to do that. And this is for switching, if that is for building a home, and this is for also buying a home, right? I just wanted to talk directly to our existing CIBC First Caribbean mortgage clients that we have HELOC, equity line of credit option that is available, so they are not left out. They can come in and speak with their representative about that.
Okay.
Okay.
Let me
So
ask
it's
a
not
question.
just about
Okay.
the customers, the people who are non-customers.
Okay.
We have our clients taken care of.
And I love the name Get Comfy. You know, just something about it. Get comfy. Yes.
Okay, 9:31. We'll be here with CIBC and their Get Comfy mortgage campaign. Let me ask a quick question. Stupid question, probably. Suppose you wanted to do a loan for, if it was maybe a business property that you wanted to invest in. Maybe you have your home already, but you wanted to take a loan to build a business complex. Would it can it apply to that kind?
No, it wouldn't apply
Okay.
to the Get Comfy.
That's
And
why I
our,
asked. That's
yeah,
why
it
I
wouldn't
asked.
apply
I
to the
wondered.
Get Comfy, but you can use equity out of your existing home to inject into your new project. Unfortunately, we don't have Kimali Drew, who is our business banking manager here. He is our specialist for business banking and the business type financing, and he is available to speak with customers and provide the guidance to them.
Speaking of which, this would be a good time to give listeners your numbers and your contact information if they're interested.
Right. So I can be reached at 466-2002 or 662-5462.
Okay.
And my contacts, Eberna White, the country head, 662-2520.
Okay, 662-2520. Okay, we give you the last word. It's 9:32.
Yes. So, any lasting words that you'd like to leave?
Sure. So just to reiterate what we spoke about earlier, the Get Comfy. And it's just for listeners out there to get comfy with our First Caribbean and the services that we provide. The campaign started in July. It runs until the 31st of October. And it covers building, buying, and switching. If you want to build your home, if you want to purchase your home, or if you have an existing home and you want to switch. Now, the campaign covers up to $1,000 on your loan application fee, $500 off of your property insurance, and $250 off of the valuation cost. And with switching, we cover up to $10,000 off your switching costs. And as well, you will be able to enjoy a free pre-approved card with 5,000 bonus points.
Sounds good. CIBC sounds like the place to be.
Definitely it is. We have so much happening in the market, and stay tuned. We have announcements about our corporate social projects, Walk for the Cure initiatives. We should be having a press launch this week as we unveil what is in store for fundraising initiatives and how you can participate.
Okay, sounds
Awesome.
good.
Sounds really good.
And of course, in case you live on the rock, CIBC is located in the circus.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Yes. So
Thank
you
for
guys.
your
Thank you.
attention and have a wonderful day to
Thanks
the
for having us.
listeners.
No
And
problem.
You know, you're welcome anytime.
Yes, anytime.
Found the sound 98.9. Win FM.
On the clothes and me looking well dapper. Stepping out tonight with Ramona and Sasha. Run to the fridge for me secret trick. 2 buckle of Magnum, now everything's set. You don't know, one girl can't manage me. When me under me Magnum, all 2 or 3. Biggie a buckle to me, granddaddy. Cause later on tonight, he might expect a lady. You want the energy for do the things that you do. Drop in the Magnum with the figure 10-2. Ladies, give you the vibe, bit more quick. And all them on them, yeah, that's strong extra lift. Magnum tonic wine, energy when you need it.
Like us on Facebook, www.facebook.com/ramsupermarket. Follow us on Twitter, www.twitter.com/ramsupermarket. And subscribe to us on YouTube, www.youtube.com/ramsupermarket.
Rams the good food people, always there to serve you. Rams the good food people, locations right near you. Rams the good food people, in-store specials for you. Rams the good food people, Rams.
Masekela. Meet me down in Siparia, Siparia. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Montano. Meet me down in Soweto, Soweto. Oh, yo, 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 yo. Masekela. Meet me back in Africa, Africa. Montano. Meet me back in Trinbago, Trinbago.
9:37, and we are back.
We're back on Island Tea. Such a interesting array of discussions.
Yeah.
Someone while I was
and I gotta say, it's good to see CIBC, because you remember when the merger was announced between National Bank, and you could see that they were in this kind of weird limbo for all these months.
Yes.
And then ultimately it wasn't approved.
You know,
so now it's good to see them now stepping out and really, let's say, I don't want to say attack, but really aggressively trying to build a market share.
And you know what catch me this morning? The fact that you could do so many things from your office rather than having to go in, sit down and stuff like that, because sometimes you have so many things to do, and just to go and to sit down takes up time.
And I didn't even know that about the ATMs. I know they changed the ATMs, but I didn't realize now that you can do all of that.
Yeah, that's
pretty
fascinating.
cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There was someone who messaged me during the break, and they said, "Good morning, Azard. If you have not already done so, please ask the following questions. What training, preparation do persons go through to groom them for their positions as diplomats? If the answer is yes, who does the training and what are the areas covered? This is in light of the two recent, very public meltdowns by two of our diplomats."
Meltdowns?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
You want to take a call?
Let's take a call.
Caller, go right ahead.
Yes, good morning.
Hi,
I was
good
trying to call in when you had those bank representatives on the radio, because do you know that if I did a job for you, just a mechanic job, and you paid me $400, and I go into CIBC or that bank, I have to pay them $10 to get a check change that you wrote to me? Do you think that is fair? And there's no either if you don't have an account there, let me put it this way, you have to pay them $10 to change the check. National Bank doesn't do that. Republic Bank doesn't do that. Why? And then the Bank of Nevis, which took over from Royal Canada, whatever that bank was, they started taking out $29 every month, and if you don't close the account and reopen it, the money comes out secretly unknown to you.
Are you serious?
These are wicked things, So I wanted to ask the person on that radio show why they do that. Because you have to pay to get that checking account. You have to pay some money to get your book. And then you're using the book to further your business without having to pay cash. And you pay somebody to go into the bank. You have to take out $10, otherwise you can't get a check change if you don't have an account there. Those things are wrong. And I wanted them to ask them why they do that. And they're advertising, making themselves sound like they're the best bank coming up with technology and making it easy and convenient for people to do business. That's a lie. That's wickedness.
Caller, I actually think that they might have another session. If I heard right, I think there might be another segment. Maybe
so perhaps we could maybe advertise it before so persons could call in.
Yes.
Yeah. Wow. Well. Yeah.
Wow. Here's another call. But he's right though. That the banks have started nickel and diming us. I remember those days when you just go to the bank, you cash your check, and you didn't have all this shady stuff where you look at your account and you're like, I'm pretty sure when I was there last time it was this figure and not this figure. And then you're asking,
the caller.
Yes, caller. Go ahead. Yeah, I know that there. Go ahead.
Yes, morning guys.
Morning
again.
Yes.
Guys, questions again. I know we know the incident with our ambassador not just happened on the weekend. The question is, right? And our UN ambassador situation happened last week. The question is, is any form of disciplinary action is going to be taken against Mr. Nato in terms of any investigation, any suspension. Is there somebody who's going to be acting and be training and taking up his role pertaining to this matter? And then the other question, as I was asking before, we are waiting on government officials to give us an announcement on our UN ambassador what is going to be the stance concerning her matter and situation. All we are hearing is that they have already replaced her with someone else. But what
in the interim
and measures are going to be taken on her matter and her situation?
Well,
these are the things we want to hear, and we are waiting on a government official to come to the people and give an official announcement. Is there going to be a press conference? Is there going to be some form of briefing? We need to hear what the reason why she was recalled. If she was, did she disrespect the position? You know, that sort of thing. Right? The nation needs to hear why she was recalled and what is the matter and what is to be taken, what steps and what grounds, and where does she stand now? What is she going to get any form of salary or anything, or is she totally fired? The nation needs to know. Gone, guys.
I definitely agree that an explanation should be given as to what occurred. I mean, these are public officials. These persons exercise a public duty, and the public should be made aware of what transpired. And these are, to me, things that ought to be done when you serve in a public capacity. We have another caller. Caller, you're live on Island T.
Hey, good morning, Azard.
Hi, good morning, Journey.
Yeah, good morning, Jamster.
Hey, what's up?
Azard, just quickly, I want to go back on something I said a week ago.
Okay,
Monday.
Journey.
I was trying to get in.
Journey,
Yeah.
is it on the topic that we're discussing now?
No.
Okay, Journey, could you make it at least a minute then?
Yeah, well, quickly, I just wanted to say, right now, I remember last week you said pertaining to my input on the interview with Richard Madley and the Guyanese president. What I noticed, right, now here we have, there was a lady was sitting next to Richard Madley.
Yeah.
And the way he behaved, right, did you notice the lady tried to indicate to him in any form that he was talking to a head of state?
Okay.
No, she didn't. Now, here's the thing. Here's where I find it interesting that the scripture says Satan does not go up against Satan. Because Azard, if Jamster is saying something on your show, you would give your opinion, or you would even say, Jamster, not like that. Something like that, But here we have that his reaction to the president in such manner, with his bigotry and his racism, and the lady who was next to him said nothing. This is what's been happening for centuries, Azard. But I wanted to get in for the rest of the week, but I couldn't. Just to bring back that point. I don't
What's
want
your take on the situation with our ambassadors? What's your take on those?
Well, the thing is, for me, honestly, I just heard of it this morning. I know you might find that hard to believe, but I'm listening. I don't even know if I know who the person is, so I have to do my research.
That's no problem. What about the UN situation? Did you hear about that one?
Just tell me briefly, because there's a lot of things going on in the UN right now. Which one are you referring to?
I mean, the one that refers to our UN ambassador who was recalled and who
yeah, that's what I'm saying. I just heard of it this morning.
Oh, you just heard about it.
So I have to look into it.
Okay, then. No problem, Journey.
Yes,
thank you for your contribution.
Right, okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
So, I mean, there are so many things, and I think and I want to look at it as a broader thing, is that I think, especially seeing what has occurred, especially, with public bodies and public officials, it's whether or not then someone messaged me about it, whether training is given to individuals who exercise these offices, as to, be aware of the, the task at hand, and whether or not, because really and truly you are at times taking persons who didn't serve in capacities or national capacities or public offices before, and who were as so to speak private citizens, and you're putting them in a very public position. So the question is whether training is given to these individuals. We have a call?
No.
Yeah.
We do have one now.
Okay.
Caller, go right ahead.
Hi, good morning, Johnston.
Yes.
Azard.
Yes.
What I know enough to know that I don't know enough
Mm-hmm.
about these matters. But what I can say is that what I do understand, listening to the news media, they were reporting that there are the issues that were supposed to be posted on the ambassador website.
Yes.
And based on those issues, like strike and all of that,
Yeah.
the wording and so on, like she closed up the embassy or she shut it down and so on,
Yeah.
those were the reasons why they're bringing her back to sink it, to
Yeah.
have consultation.
Yeah. Which
And they did not say whether they will send her back to the position or they will keep her here and put her in some other position. So there is, it's just the wording on the internet that they claim that she's coming back for. Nothing else other than that. So,
And do
Right.
you think that's sufficient? Or you think an explanation should be given? Do you think that?
an explanation could be given, but that doesn't mean that it would be the true fact of the explanation, because you can explain something that doesn't happen.
Oh, yeah.
Because I give you, I'm not diverting away from this matter, but
Yeah.
because this man, I think it's you who asked the person from First Caribbean concerning the interest rate, and you see how they dance all around the place. And up to now, they did not give you a proper answer to that. They say, come in and sit down. So that is not the answer to the question. And we know that there are more questions than what answers in the world. So you'll
Yes.
always have questions, but will you have enough answers?
That's
No.
true.
Will you get the answers? No. Some you might not get now, some you might get later.
Yeah.
But the issue that is at hand right now is that it's a critical one. And for training to get ready, who trained the politician to be a politician? Nobody.
Yeah.
But the image of the ambassador is the image of the politician.
Yeah.
And the policies and procedures of the country that we give permission and authority to lead. We make them our trustee. They
Yes.
become our trustee, and we trust them to lead. And so whether they do good or they do bad, we pay.
Yeah.
Or at the end of the day, we hope that they will do the right thing. Do we have laws and guidance and policies that they should follow and expectation? I think we do in some aspect and some areas, but at the end of the day, it's left to the Prime Minister. And so you have some question at hand. I don't want to keep you much longer. You have some question at hand. How well did she function in the position before these things started to happen? Did she perform her duty very well? So there's a lot of things that will weigh in her
balance.
favor and some things that will weigh against her. There will be complaints. Some people complain on an executive because the executive may be hard on them in getting them to do their job or to carry out the function like it's supposed to be in a serious manner.
Yeah.
Some people, if you let them come in the office and sit down all day and do nothing, they're happy for that. But if she been on some of the staff case and so on, they're not going to like that, and they're probably going to report that as a negative towards her. But you need leadership who really going to take the bull by the hand to get things done.
Yeah.
And what caused her to flip? Anybody could flip. Anybody could get out the piece.
Yeah.
The other thing on the other ambassador, which is the things that happened with Nata,
Yes.
it could have escalated bigger than it did, but thanks God it did not.
Yeah.
And most parents normally act similar. I'll give you a short stint. A lady was in the circus one day, and she was saying that if anybody put their hand on she child, what she would do and what she wouldn't do, and she would go to jail and all kind of thing. And when she cooled down a little bit, I so close to her, say, when you do all that you say you will do to them, what do you think that the police should do to you? He said, well, the police will have to do. I said, well, you'll have to go you'll have to be arrested and you'll be charged. And if you go to the magistrate, chances are you'll be sent to jail. And while you're in prison, who will be outside here protecting the same child that you claim that you will do so much to protect? So at the end of the day, your first position is to involve the police. You may not like them, you may not agree with them, but they are your best option. Get the police involved in these critical situations, and that's all the way we should always think the way. Get the police when it is involved and straighten out your matter there. You cannot take the line you own hand and think that you're right, and nobody can do it.
Yeah.
I think I've said enough, and I think I keep you long. So do have a good day. Thank you very much for bringing me.
Okay.
Thank you so much. Thank you
to
so
me.
much for your
Okay.
contribution and your way in and your insight. Thank you so much, Carla. Really fruitful thoughts.
Oh boy. The I know that the. Okay, let's take this call.
Oh, we have another caller. Caller, you're live on Island T.
Caller, go right ahead. Yeah.
Yes, Sir. Good morning.
Hey, what's up?
Azard.
Yes, good
What
morning.
do you? This is when the stupid man and the road speaking.
What happened?
I don't know.
Oh.
Let's go to another call. Caller, go right ahead.
Yes.
Hey.
Good morning again.
Mhm.
I think it's really important that the government get its communications in order. You see how you're calling for, or there have been calls for statements to be issued to lift the crowd around what has happened, well, certainly in the case of the UN ambassador.
Yes.
I don't know if you recall that you had made a pronouncement, shall we say, on the letter that was thought to be official going around where you're talking about you have the honor to. Do you recall that?
Say that again. Oh, yes, I did. Yeah. I think
Right.
yes.
Right. Yes. But it turned out that that was not an official letter.
Oh, it wasn't?
Apparently not. Okay. I saw something there from a government official saying that it was fake news.
No,
Okay.
I think
So if
that
if-
you sure it is that, or there was something going around, I think, with schools being closed.
No.
Uh-huh.
This was definitely the case, that letter that you referred to, where you said the honor. They have the honor of making that announcement. Because when I saw the letter, when I saw that posted, I said, this don't sound like a professional.
Yeah, I didn't think
document.
I don't think so
Right.
either.
You do-
But
maybe the second honor where they're introducing whoever was going to be the temporary replacement may have been in order. That's too, but definitely not the first one. That sounded very amateurish.
Yeah.
And I would not have expected something like that to come from a seasoned Ministry of Foreign Affairs, you know. So, but what I'm saying, that things like that would happen where people might doctor things and so on because there isn't a clear official statement coming out from a credible government source
Yeah.
when things like these happen.
Yeah.
Okay? So these things really should be cleared
Wow.
up, and I hope they do it fast. Otherwise, we continue to have lots of speculation,
Yeah.
lots of fake news.
The
Right.
two, the communication should be out and forthwith. I mean, it for example, you could, a statement by a government official goes a long way, and when you have the person there indicating in person what has happened, you know,
Well, okay. The thing is, most people, I guess, when they have egg on their face, would prefer not to be seen. Like I said, they probably prefer to go hide under a rock or just shut up, period.
Yes.
But that does not help the situation. That's what I'm getting at.
Yeah, it doesn't
Right?
help because then it leaves
Yeah,
room
it
for
should
speculation.
Right. It's your clear statement of and you can always do your diplomatic doublespeak and all of that, what you normally do. But it's two things generally journalists don't like. When you don't say anything at all, or say things like, my only comment is no comment, or just say no comment. They don't like those kinds of things because then they put whatever spin they want on it.
Yes.
Okay, and people and the public too isn't any the wiser, and that is not how an open and transparent government works.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right then.
Thank you so much. Yes. It's,
Well,
mhm.
Remember last week I was talking about about the opacity of government, and
Mhm.
I think we have a lot of evolving to do when it comes to, especially our politicians, our political culture, even our corporate
Yeah.
culture. With we have a lot of evolving to do when it comes to being free and
Mhm.
open with information, and
Yeah.
keeping people in the loop, keeping us in the loop, and
Yeah.
not treating us like children who can't handle the truth, or
Exactly.
who can't understand the truth.
And that sometimes I think that sometimes I go as far to think that they know what they're doing, and it's just
Oh, they
a
absolutely
situation
know what
where
they're doing.
it's easier to do this and to mass. Well, we didn't say that, or we
Information is
yeah.
power.
So,
Knowledge is power.
It's
And
crazy.
it's always been about, the political culture in the
Mhm.
Caribbean, especially with the English speaking countries. It's always been about power and leveraging power over
Mhm.
other people.
Yeah.
And holding on to information is another way of,
Mhm.
of leveraging power.
Yeah, because he who knows, you would
Yes.
know what the
Mhm.
quote says: knowledge is power.
Mhm.
And as we wind down today,
We have
a call.
we have another
Okay
call.
then.
Yeah. Caller, go right ahead.
Mhm.
Yeah, good morning. I'm going to be
Hey.
real quick.
Yes.
Now, concerning the bank thing, I agree with the caller from Nevis,
Mhm.
because that kind of behavior has been going on too long. And then, Azard, you realize there was a caller calling, and you asked him if he talking about what you are talking about, and he said no.
Yes.
Well, I think if what happened here in St. Kitts and up in United Nations,
Mhm.
if that happened in Africa, he would be well aware of what happened. And I'm saying this,
Mhm.
the government got all kind of program now coming up informing you about this. We got to be transparent about that. Well, how come they're not being transparent with what happened to the lady up in Washington? In United Nations, and what happened last NATO? How come they ain't coming out as transparent? What are we waiting for? Come out now, man. I've been talking about are you transparent and integrity and good governance, and are you hiding none of come out now. This is the time for that. Come out and let the whole world know what go down. Don't come up with no fabricated propaganda on the radio. Just like last week, one of them went on the radio to talk about the reason why we ain't get we ain't getting the cricket. What they're gonna play in Caribbean, and I'm gonna excuse about basketball, and I'm gonna cricket going to radio for that. Come on, stop telling lies, man. When I get on the radio, let us, the listeners, let us get the truth. Don't hide nothing, fabricate nothing, because we on the ground, we know what's going on. Thank you all very much.
No problem. Thank you. And we always, I always like to discuss, these situations, these topics as it face our country, as it face our nation, because, oftentimes there are many persons, for whatever reason, not afraid to touch these are afraid to touch these issues. And so to have an area where persons could, discuss issues that, really need discussing, and in a very safe space. So I just want to thank all the callers who called in, those persons who also sent messages to ask questions and to hear their concerns. We may have differing opinions, we may have different opinions, but I think we all should respect each other's opinion. And at the end of the day, it is in hope that we, based on all of the discussion, we go forward as a better people, as a better nation. And I want to leave this quote here as we conclude this morning's edition of Island Tea. It says, "Heavy is the head that wears the crown." And it goes on to say, and I think I mentioned it earlier, and it's a Shakespeare quote: "Uneasy is the head that wears a crown," from Henry IV, Part 2, is often now paraphrased as "heavy is the head that wears the crown." The phrase has become an English idiom meaning that those charged with responsibility, major responsibility, carry a heavy burden that makes it difficult for them to relax.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so we gotta wrap it up here now.
Mhm.
Okay, well that's good for. We were supposed to have Money Matters this morning, but the professor had to travel. He's traveling this morning, but we'll still be bigging up the sponsor, First Federal, and and we got Voices coming up at 11 o'clock. So, and of course we'll be back tomorrow for
Island Tea.
Yeah.
Sip
Okay.
and chill.
Yeah.
And also speak.
What a nice place to be.
WINN is 98.9. 98.9 is Win FM.
Are you getting a share of the profits from your bank?